The keeper of the old lighthouse. When I arrived at Hemlock station, it had already been nearly forgotten. The last visit here took place 50 years ago, perhaps more. The station stood at the edge of a forest where, they said, the trees still remembered the voices of the first colonists, and the wind swayed the branches as if whispering something from the past. I came aboard an autopiloted landing shuttle. I was sent by the archives with a single purpose: to document what remained of the station before the system shut it down. A routine assignment, just paperwork. I thought I'd spend a day here, maybe two, no more. But it turned out someone was still living at the station. He was waiting for me by the hangar exit. An old man in a worn-out jacket holding a metal cane with both hands, leaning on it as if it were an anchor. "You from Central?" he asked without blinking. "Yes, Peripheral Archives. I'm here to assess the state of the site before decommissioning. Are you the last one?" "I'm the keeper," he nodded, saying nothing. Hemlock Station was an old lighthouse, an interstellar relay, a beacon repeater that, during the Age of Expansion, guided ships through the misty belts of the Galilean frontier. When the gravitational lines were introduced, the beacons became obsolete, but they weren't destroyed, just switched off. I stepped inside. Everything breathed the past: mechanical panels, manual drives, even old wooden chairs from the first wave of colonization. "Why did you stay?" I asked. "Because I made a promise," he replied, "and because there are things that shouldn't be shut off." At night, I heard him walking through the station. The old antennas hummed, pulling their whispering voices into the darkness of space. I thought they had long gone silent, but they hadn't. "They're still transmitting," the old man said one evening, as we sat on the observation deck. "An old signal. It updates after every passing starship. Whoever's still listening can find their way home. But no one comes here anymore." "That's what you think." He paused for a moment. "But someday, someone will come. Someone long forgotten, someone lost, and then they'll need a beacon." On the third day, I found an entry in the logbook. Year 209. Transmission for vessel Eridana 7. Possible reception on responder. Awaiting return signal in 13 days. The ship Eridana 7 had vanished over a century ago, even before I was born. It likely suffered a catastrophic failure and never made it to base. All the archives said the same: lost. But the beacon kept calling. On the fifth day, I left my equipment in the hangar, not because it was useless, but because I realized some things cannot be measured. I was sitting next to the old man when the signal came, a hesitant crackle on the receiver. Then a phrase. "Station, Hemlock, we hear you. Repeat coordinates, repeat." The old man sighed and smiled. "I told you," he whispered. "There are always those searching for home." He slowly pressed the transmit button. There was moisture in his eyes. Maybe it was just the reflection from the console. Or maybe something else. A memory, a belief. I left the station a week later, and in my report, I lied. I wrote that the station was still operational, that the transmission was active, that it was needed. Central didn't object. They quietly moved Hemlock back to the active list for another 50 years. And somewhere, in the darkness between stars, a lost ship drifts, and it still hears the light of the old lighthouse.